Hello, I'm Gary Slyman, President and Founder of Great Transition Strategies. Today's topic, case study on resignation. I'm working with a guy named Bob, professional, 30 years in this profession, 8 years in this particular position, loves the work he does, true professional at it, really well respected in what he does, and he's going through the throes of maybe I think it's time, I'm getting to the point I think I need to resign. And I think it's because of the way things are going in the organization. Leadership has changed over time, particularly COVID, the way procedures are, and here's some of the things he's experiencing. Feels he's not supported by his leadership. He works on a satellite. There's a home office. He has a small team that does their work with clients, and he feels he's not being supported by a home office. Someone from his team he wants to remove. Nope, you can't remove them. They need to stay. I think there's a better fit someplace else. I think we need to move them. Nope, that person needs to stay. You need to work with that person. Do more with less. Hey, here's some things I need to make this work. Nope, this is all you're going to get. You need to work. So he's feeling really frustrated with that. Feels that the office has become very, very political. They will always side with a client. If a client will go and make some kind of claim or some kind of complaint to them, the leadership will come in and roll in on him, not even ask, hey, so tell me what's going on. They'll just, okay, here's what's going on. You need to fix this. Like, well, wait a minute. How about hearing this out? Has not caught his leadership in a lie, but he's feeling they're really shading the truth on some things. Just not feeling great about it. So he's got these feelings that are, ugh. All right, so put yourself in that situation. Should he resign? So here's the questions, the overarching questions that we started with. Remember, been there for a long time, good position, loves the work that he does. Overarching question is, are you still making the impact that you came here to make, and will you continue to make the impact? And so far, yes, he thinks he's going to be able to do that. But we're digging in. Conversation's been going on for a little while, and it's interesting the more we dig. Next question. If you left now, what would you regret? What would you regret not accomplishing? What would you regret you think you needed to do, but you didn't do? What would you regret? And that's interesting. So he's thinking about that. So those are overarching questions. And I know it's hard to leave an organization. But when someone leaves, I want them to have clarity. I'm leaving for these reasons. So the overarching questions are based on impact. Are you making the impact you want to make? Will you continue to make that impact? And what would you regret? So as I dug a little more, having come from an ethics center, I dug into, there's got to be some areas on ethical considerations for resigning. J. Patrick Doble wrote a book, Public Integrity. It talked about resigning from public office. So here are some considerations I think are germane to this particular conversation. There's a three-legged stool, and there's 3 areas on whether you should resign or not. 1, maybe you shouldn't. 2, it's probably time to go. Clearly 3, you got to go. But 2, it's probably time to leave. And those are, number 1 is, can you maintain your moral capacity, or are you compromised? Can you maintain your moral capacity and commitment? So if you've been compromised morally, maybe you got to be thinking about time to go. Number 2, can you still fulfill the obligations of the position? If you are now compromised to the point that you cannot fulfill the position anymore, there's another tick there, another check block. Okay, and the last one, can you still be effective? Can you still be effective in that particular position? So you look at those 3. I think those 3 are really interesting. I could certainly see them in public office, but in any position, I think they can be helpful. Hey, is it time to resign or not? What's my level of tolerance? What's my level of burnout? Because all that comes into play. So leaving and resigning from an organization is not an easy decision. It needs to be done with rigor. You need to think about it over time and not necessarily make it a big dramatic, I'm out of here on this principle. Maybe you need to leave on a certain principle. You are compromised with your moral capacity. Time to go. But here is one way. The way we're approaching it is, are you making the impact you want? Can you continue? What would you regret? Big overarching questions. And then the next 3 to consider are you compromised with your moral capacity or commitment? Can you still fulfill the obligations of the office? And are you still effective? Thanks for listening. I'd love to hear your comments on what your thoughts on considerations on whether you should resign or stay.